It's only a model. Shh.
We're knights of the round boy table, not round the square or triangle. We come to hang and chat like a gang on Fridays as we're able. We play well here in Camelot, we are chums and fun, but Camelot. We're knights of the round boy table, our host is formidable. He runs a strange, loves insane, but sure he's quite unstable. He's automatic in Camelot, but seems never to have done a lot. Label, quite incomprehensible. Blue wrenching and we have no plan but to sit and hear Dodge babble. It's a lazy time in Camelot.
I have to shake my bum a lot.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it. And it's all done in the best possible way.
Sorry. I just greeted y'all. That's all you missed. I turned my mic off while I coughed and forgot to turn it back on. Sorry. This is what happens when the chat is over on that one, and I've got the list of names here. So anyhow, hello, Andy. Hi, Andy, Efo, John, Leslie, Mick of the Royal Bar, Greg, Dino, John, Mystic Railway, Charlie, Raymond, here early, Sir Tim, our CEO, Bonsoir, Titiari, Belgin, Sir Tom of Couples, Sir Tom Houston, Sir Chris of the Valleys, and Sir Eric and Sir Willie of Von Don Eisenbahn. Apologies. Sprue and Glue is here. Welcome in. I'm sorry I don't get into your live streams. Unfortunately, I tend to be busy in the morning a lot. And if I'm not busy, I'm busy because I get calls. And a lot of people know to call me in the morning because they know I usually babysit my grandson in the afternoon. So they call me early, and that just means no live streams for me. But anyhow, let us, anybody, oh, and Sir Clive of Newland Railway came in. So, hello to all of you Knights of the Rhomboid Table, fellow Knights. We are gathered once again on this Friday in Castle Camelot. But, yeah. No, I'm not Italian, but I talk with my hands. I talk with my hands. I was just greeting everybody. And like I said, I had to cough. I turned the mic off and then took a drink of water and then clicked start and forgot to turn the mic back on. So I hope you're all well. Obviously, it was... It was a rarely uneventful week. I did post one video, but like 2% of my subscribers may have seen it. Actually, I think it's like 0.5% of my subscribers saw it, and then the other half. And man, wow, did I get some angry comments and emails about that. One guy really went at me because of my camera, and I forgot. I'm sorry. My Nero and Windows have both updated, and they're not working well together at this moment. And my Nero crashed, about a dozen times trying to make that video. And I would save, and it's supposed to have an autosave every couple of minutes, but I had put the pictures in, and then it crashed, and I forgot to check if the pictures were still there. I just went back to the end of the video to see, okay, I lost the last 5 minutes I had put on. But no, I had also gone in and put the pictures in. And I burned it. I didn't even look at when I burned it and posted it immediately. But man, some people are just pissy. I don't even know why you bother making a video if the pictures are too blurred. Well, the pictures weren't blurred at the end when you could see the train. Okay? We're not a professional house. In fact, one dude said, very unprofessional. Really? Unprofessional? Unprofessional as in not professional. As in, I don't get paid to do this. So yeah, it's unprofessional. Does this look like a movie studio or a photography studio to anybody? I am not a professional photographer. I am not a professional videographer. I don't have the best equipment. I just have lots of equipment. And hey, Paul. You're going to loiter in the background. Well, it's good to see you, Sir Paul. And did anybody else come in while I was there? Everybody's still saying hi to each other. And speaking of Paul, there's another Paul from Wolfsex Scenics. Nice to have you in, Sir Paul. Well, there's that, Efo. But I'm not gonna. I did slag off Hornby a bit, but not for doing the same thing Märklin does, which is taking their cheap, mass-produced wagons, vans, whatever you want to call them, and slapping a logo on it and saying, look, collector's item. I know what I'm getting into. you know, I'm a Beatles fan. But I don't just automatically buy it because it's Beatles. For example, they released a Beatles EP train last year, still available. And I just thought the locomotive looked too chintzy, and I thought the cars looked too chintzy. I wasn't going to invest. But I started this collection, the album collection. I wanted to get it. So to Clive's question, do I have everything Beatles related? Absolutely not. And even in the model train world, I don't have everything Beatles related. But I got the Beatles Eurostar because I thought it was a cool train, the Yellow Submarine Eurostar. And I got the album, the Beatles Singles train, because I thought that was kind of cool. Although at the time when I first saw it, I thought it was 4 cars and a locomotive. No, it's 2 cars and a locomotive. And then I had started buying the Beatle wagons. Hey there, Sir Andy of March West Junction, and Sir Steve from Route 7 Railways. Welcome in, everybody. And Sir Alan, my Lord Alan. But here you're Sir Alan of Dragon Junction. Nice to have you all here. A lot of great stuff that came out this week. There was like 3 or 4 videos, and I should have made notes, but it's just been it's been a hectic week dealing with a lot of crazy stuff offline and so forth. And there's another Eric, Sir Eric from ANC Railroad and Scale and Life Journey. Welcome in, Sir Eric. Great to see you here. All right. So anyhow, this week I'm really kind of back to just running, I think last week too, trying to figure out the new normal with mixing in stock. But I do have one. I'm doing an experiment. So rivet counters, turn off your TV, go watch something else, because you're probably not going to like at least one of the trains I'm running today. But let's go to that and we'll see what we're looking at today. I've tested it. I have had to adjust and adjust and adjust and adjust and fix and adjust. But let's go to the 11-lane view and you can see what's running today. All right, in the closest line, I am running my OBB 1216 with, an 1116 Taurus with my Austrian. Yep, there we go. With my Austrian EC, although I did remove one car. The coupler was acting up, and so I wanted to take a look at it. So we'll put him in motion. It's one of those latching couplers from Roco Fleischmann, you know, where they go in and it got bent. I shouldn't say acting up, but it bent, and I actually need to buy a few more. I think I have some spare, but I just decided to let this run a couple of cars shorter than normal consist. And then next to that, also with Taurus, I'm running the Czech Railjet. And so I want to make sure, do I have him going the right way? Yep. Okay. And then I'm running the same container freight as last week. I hope you forgive me. I'm running the same container freight as last week. I just changed the locomotive on it. So we'll get that one in motion here. With a class 218. And then my Brawa DB Regio, the Twindexx Vario. So we'll get that one going here. It's got that built-in speed build-up, so it'll start off slow and get going. Yeah, indeed, EFO. If I can find the Fleischmann Profis, if I think about it, I'll do it. Okay, now this is the experimental. There was one group of herbs stuff I had not run yet. I ran some of the flatbeds, the well cars, and that a couple of weeks ago. But I had those rolling rollende Straße. I had the rolling road train. So what wagons. So I got 5 of them. One has issues, so I can't work on it. I can't fix it, put it that way. And I'm also missing a couple of couplers. So I have to, find out what the part number is and order those couplers. And so I threw on 4 of them with semis. And then just for laughs, just for shits and giggles, I was actually going to do a bunch more. And then I decided, nah, I've got 3 cars where I threw on. I know the train is supposed to have a passenger car at the end for the drivers. Unfortunately, I don't have a coupler for the last end of it. There were broken couplers, and so I have a short little train running here. I suppose I could have, gone since a little better, and then way in the back is my class 648 limp class, and I will get the floor stuff going in a minute. Only lost a little more hair. Well, at least you got some to spare. So yeah, I got that. And then on the floor, just for silliness, I am running, obviously, new Beatles stuff, so you had to expect, if you saw the video, which very few people did, it may be my most unsuccessful video ever, considering the number of negative comments to how many views it actually had. I don't even think it broke 150 views, which for my videos, I usually go about 200 to 250 for my regular videos. And the negative comments, I deleted so many negative comments, fired back at a few, and then after a couple of days deleted them, hoping that the idiot who left their negative comment got my middle finger at them, because I don't always turn the other cheek. But we'll get these guys going. So I have the album car. I have the singles being pulled by its appropriate locomotive. So there's the singles, which also has the same problem Hornby seems to have with these albums. And then, just because it was a combination of 2 things I wanted to run. I wanted to run the new Beatles album train, and I love the Scotrail 68, and so I wanted to run it. Well, convenient. A loco I want to run, and a bunch of wagons I want to run. Do they go together? No, but then again, what train officially pulls a bunch of Beatle album wagons? None, because they don't exist in reality. So I can run whatever I want with it, right? But there we go. Every single Beatles album on an inappropriate number of cars. So, there we go. The roll of flat cars do not have the full wiring fitted. Okay. That's right. My layout, let it be. Yes, I am a Beatle maniac. I'm a child of the 60s and huge Beatle maniac. So, which camera should we go with first? Let's go back to 11 lane because a couple of guys are there. So I hope you all enjoy today's running selections, and if not, well, sorry. Hey, Sir Dave of Kiwi is here. Sir David Woodall, how are you? Welcome in. You were a Rolling Stones teenager. I am, some people make a competition between the Stones and the Beatles. I don't. I like a lot of the Stone stuff. To be honest, I don't like most of the Stone stuff. But there is no competition because the Beatles were just better. And the funny thing is, the Beatles were from the tough port town of Liverpool. Ringo grew up on the Dingle, which was at the time was one of the poorest and hardest areas of Liverpool. And Ringo could fight. You know, everybody gets the, silly, goofy Ringo. Of all the Beatles, if they came to a fist fight, Ringo could kick the other four guys' butts. And John liked to play like he was the tough guy with his acerbic wit and so forth. And John was probably the easiest pushover of the four. And George actually, the funny thing is, people's perception of the Beatles versus who they really were to some degree is always a little bit off. Like, George is always seen as the spiritual one and the peace and friendly one. George probably had the worst temper of the group and the most sarcastic personality. Great sense of humor, but very snarky. Oh yeah, Alan, that is crazy. That is crazy. How much, because when you're just running it day to day and making little adjustments, it doesn't change until you look back at the beginning, or you go back 2 years and go, wow, has it changed? Yeah. Yeah, I actually noticed that in your most recent video. I was like, wow, I'll have to come again because it's a totally new setup. It really is. The basics are still the same, but a lot has been changed in a lot of areas. I need to get full grass there. You're a Metallica teen, a Zeppelinite. And see, the thing is, I like Metallica. I like Zeppelin. Joyce is a huge Zeppelin fan. Zeppelin is probably Joyce's favorite band. Joyce was a bit of a headbanger, but Zeppelin is her band. That's a little better. Hey, Sir Randall of Ellison is back. All right. But, I mean, I have hundreds of bands I like, and I tend to like most genres of music. I'm not a big jazz fan. Certain old jazz I like. Modern jazz, forget it. Fusion jazz, no. I'm more jazz when it's closer to big band music, because I grew up with my dad's big band music. So I love the Dorseys and Glenn Miller and all the big band, Benny Goodman and such. I do love big band music, but I'm not a big jazz fan. And disco. I loathe disco. And for those who don't know what loathe means, it means I hate it. Hey, Curly, how are you? Dwight. Sir Dwight of Curly is here. And then just any of the pop music of the last 20 years, when it just, the Katy Perry's, Lady Gaga's, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and all that stuff. Just can't get into any of that. Always hated it. I love Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is probably my second favorite band from the UK. Well, actually, it's Beatles and then Pink Floyd. It's Beatles and then Pink Floyd. My buddy Tim JD would have to plug his ears because another one of my top 5 favorite bands is U2 up until about 1990. But their first 4 albums I love. I'm a huge U2 fan. Otherwise, I'll wait years and wait for the bands to put out greatest hits album. I grew up listening, and I love country music of an era. I love country music of an era. Pretty much before early 80s. Old country music. I love anything since country went pop country and the fake patriotism and the line stomping stuff. I walked away from country, but old country I grew up with. The closest I've been to a band was on a flight home from Germany with all my students, is a band that was very popular at the time called Puddle of Mud. Was in the seats in front of me and my students. And my students were begging me to ask the guy. Oh, yeah, that's right, Tim, you love Hawkwind. Thanks, Eric. I say I hate it. There was a time when, yeah, you could have that. To be honest, I could not name a Hawkwind song. I know I've heard them, listened to them, but because that's one of the things when I do parody songs, people ask me, why don't you do this or why did you do that song? It's just because I don't like the band or I don't. Why haven't you done any country music songs? Because I'm not really a fan of modern country music. You know, before I do a parody song, I have to like the song. Before I can even do a parody song. Because if I don't like it, I won't listen to it. And so all the parody songs we've done are songs I listen to and like. As the early hookah pack. Okay. Oh, Silver Machine when Lemmy was with them. And, you know, I think, Chris, you saw that post I put on Facebook a few weeks ago where Lemmy Kilmister compares the Beatles to the Rolling Stones. So if you want to argue, argue with the late Lemmy Kilmister because he lays it out. He lays it out. The Beatles were real. The Stones were a bunch of posers. But, yeah, even out of the 60s, like, I love some of the Animals, and I hate some of the Animals, their songs. I love a lot of the Kinks, but there's a lot of the Kinks I don't like. Oh, The Who, I gotta put The Who up there in my top 5. Beatles, The Who, and Pink Floyd, and probably Pink Floyd above The Who, and then U2 below those 3. Oh, and mid-year, I love both variations of Ultravox. Mid-year and, oh crap, brain fart. And even bands I dislike will occasionally put out a song I like, or a couple of songs I like. You've held the mics. I got to go in. Oh, Vienna, I love that song. Joyce loves it too. We were singing it while in Vienna. Vienna, The Voice, Lament's okay, and then my favorite Ultravox song is John Fox. That's memory came back. John Fox was the original singer of Ultravox. Just before you typed it in, Andy, I remembered it. It came back to me. You know, AC/DC, I really like AC/DC, but I never put them in my top favorite bands. But I love AC/DC up through Thunderstruck and Money Talk. After that, I think they went downhill quite a bit. But they got old. You know, we all get old and we're not as good as we used to be. All right, you got to go. Almost done on your machine. All right, take care, Eric. I hope it doesn't hit you too hard through the afternoon and evening. AC/DC with Bon Scott. Well, that's how we knew them. And then, of course, Bon Scott died. And then less than a year after Bon Scott died, or about a year after he died, AC/DC's back. Post a link to that video, Charlie. I want to hear it. Actually, Mick, I've heard their version of Sound and Silence. Joyce loves it. That is Joyce's favorite version of Sound of Silence. Well, hello, Brad from Willow Creek, and hello, Sir Brad, and hello, Sir Alan Reynolds from Buckland Junction. Great to have you here. Now, I fell behind. I was going to try to follow that. We'll go to this camera again. Yeah, Andy, I like that. And again, I think it's gorgeous. It runs great. The only negative criticism I get is there's a bit of light bleed where the destination signs are on the side. There's a bit of light bleed there. And, but I'm not that picky about light bleed. I mean, if it's really bad, it upsets me, but I tend to run my trains with the lights on and the lights on in the room so you don't notice the light bleeds so much. But man, this is the one I had a argument a year ago when I got this, and I gave it a video. A guy a few months ago started just jumping all over me because I said that I liked it and it was a really nice model, because he got a Brawa that sucked, and therefore all Brawa sucks and all Brawa makes is garbage and blah 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 blah. And how could I say this is good, that I like this and this is good, when Brawa sucks? I must be being paid by Brawa to say all these. No, the video is called First Impression. In other words, my first impressions out of the box. You see them live. The only thing you don't see is me running it in. But I open the box live, set it on the track, run through its functions live, and then I turn the camera off, run it in, and then I come back and do the up the ramp test live. So you get my live reactions. And wow, that dude was just so bitter. And, you know, I was trying to be nice. And after 5 replies, I finally just said, look, you're clearly emotionally crippled. Get over it. Mine runs well. It looks good. I think it's one of my prettiest trains. Get over it. I'm supposed to say something sucks because you don't like it? That's not how this works. That's why I never tell people. You've never, ever heard me tell people, buy it. I don't even tell people, buy Märklin. I tell people what I like and why I like Märklin, but I'll never tell other people to buy Märklin or get into Märklin. I do like it. I do enjoy it. I'm glad I went into Märklin, but your experiences may vary. Oh, I missed it. I was going to try to catch it there. All right. Well. Hey, Sir Raymond of Legs is here. Welcome in. Is there a... Hi. Is that a joke name for somebody? Ragon Junction? Well, see, there you go, Andy. I've made your mind up to buy one, and I'm very nervous. I think it's gorgeous. It is probably, of all my purchases in the last 2-3 years, it's definitely one of my ultimate favorites. And that includes, in conjunction with my ICE4, the newest ICE4. Well, even the original ICE4. Hey, Sir Corey, how are you, sir? Yeah, everybody's going to have some level of a different experience. You know, not every machine that comes off the production line is going to work perfectly. Oh, good timing. Like I was trying to get there. Had 4 of them go through at one try. Those are some of my favorite shots, is when I can catch all the trains coming through at once. But so far, the little rolling road is, I really worried that the couplings would not stick together. I did put some stuff under the trucks to keep them from wobbling or sliding back and forth. Oh, you're watching The Boys? Joyce and I watched season 1 and we never got back to we started watching season 2 and then things came up and we stopped watching it. I really need to go back and watch seasons 2, 3, and 4 of The Boys. But Joyce and I get sidetracked and start watching something else. Like, we watched all 9 seasons of Allo Allo. We watched all 9 seasons of Allo Allo. And then we watched, we've been watching Sharp and a whole bunch of other series where we just kind of binge watch a whole season in an evening or a night if we can. Wow, Charlie, you know all the famous people. Good morning. Good morning. Here comes the Englishman who thinks he can speak French. But my friend Christopher from Sakura Densha, who was Sakura Densha and then various other names, then Christopher's Hobby Log, and now he's back to Sakura Densha. Christopher, if you're in the background, hello. And all the other people in the background, hello to all of you. All of you in the who watch on Makeup and such. But yeah, there are definitely jokes that are running in the house. Every now and then, Joyce or I will grab our glasses, look at the other, and go. Like, one of us will come in the house and the other one will say, "Who's there?" And we'll walk in the living room and go like this. It is I, Leclerc. Because we love that. That was such a running joke for a long time in our house. It is I, Leclerc. Oh, my Dicky Deeker. You know, good morning. Listen to me carefully. I shall say this only once. So Sir John is watching at work, and they're actually making you work. Hey, that's the worst 4-letter word to me anymore. I was just pissing by. They were pissing outside the door when I saw them. They were pissing by the door. Oh, you're in a different movie there. Would you like to ride in my little tank, Renee? Yes, I know Midge is from Glasgow, and I do know Colin Hayes is from Ayrshire. Except Colin Hayes, of course, went to Australia and for Men at Work, and then when they got successful for their funny videos, he got upset that people were taking his very serious songs, and he broke up the band, and he screwed all the other guys because obviously he was the main songwriter. He wanted everybody to see him as a Paul Simon, and they were seeing the band as cute and funny, and it just... But it's not like it doesn't stop him from going on like Ringo's All-Star Band and on his own solo tours and performing all the songs he hated because they weren't taken seriously enough. Yes, he arrives in a giant Mercedes S-Class, and he's married. Yes, it surprised even me. 6 kids with Ava. My mom's ancestors are from Ayrshire, and you're going, wait a minute, I thought you said 3 of your 4 grandparents were born in Germany. Yes, they were. My mom's family was Clan Crawford from Ayrshire, Scotland. They emigrated to America. My mom's great-great-great-great-great-grandmother married a, well, great-great-great-grandmother, married a German gentleman. And then about 10 years in their marriage, they decided to go back to Germany. Then 2 or 3 generations later, my grandfather was born in Germany and came to America. Yeah, Corey, it's just a silly little thing. It's sort of the last of the general idea of the stock I got in that collection I bought from Herb. So it's sort of like, I couldn't decide what to run there. I was going Flix Train, Alex Train, Flix Train, Alex Train, which one, Flix Train. And I said, oh wait, I never ran those rolling road cars. Let's do that. The plane is pissing overhead. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, that show was hysterical. I loved it. My favorite part was when we first got into years 1 and 2 earlier this year. Joy started working on her Yvette impersonations. Those are fun. It's not quite Daisy, but it was still fun. Oh, Renee! The gâteau from the chateau. The Madonna with the big boobies. That's all you have to remember. That's all you got to remember. Did you post the link? Or I'll Google later. Because I've watched about, just in the last week, I've watched about 4 different versions of The Voice live. Because it's my second favorite YouTube song. Or YouTube. My second favorite Ultrabox song. I've seen 4 different live versions. I'll have to go back and check which one, as well as the original video. Bunclump, yeah. Oh, the flashy knobs! You stupid woman! She was nearly overcome by some fumes, and I was giving her mouth to mouth so she could catch her breath. But of all, so many great running jokes, and anybody who knows me knows I love a good running joke, or even a lame running joke. That's a pun. A lame running joke. But anyhow, well, one of my favorite jokes was the very last, where he looks and there's Renee. He's at the table. Renee, you haven't aged at all. My name, My father was the butcher. But you keep hearing, you know, throughout the series where Renee keeps talking about the butcher's wife. Hello, Sir Todd. Welcome in. Sadly, Efo, I don't think it ever made it over here. Well, with Colin Hay, it was a one-man show. Well, or with Midyear, it was a one-man show. All right, I'll have to check that one because I was watching their live from different periods when they were, you know, the classic lineup, and then one when they got back together in 2014 and played in Glasgow. No, or did they play in Edinburgh? Well, they eventually went on tour, so they probably played both. But I can't remember where the first reunion concert was, where they got the four guys back together. The classic lineup. Tito. Thank you, Dino. You'll always have teeth now as long as they don't break. Don't jinx yourself. But, you know, but the case is, going back to the previous conversation before Sidetracked. Sidetrack Friday. You think that's a good name for a show? Nah. Have to move to Sunday. Sidetrack Sunday. Oh, somebody already did it. There you go. Yes, I'm running my completed Beatles train down there with a Scotrail, because as we all know, the Beatles were Scottish. I just wanted to run that 68 again. Colin was a one-man show too. Yeah, I'm sure they were. The last I paid attention to Colin, he was with Ringo Starr's All-Star Band. Speaking of Ringo, he just dropped a new country single today. 84 years old, and he's still on tour, and he's still dropping singles. Not that he's great at the singles, but it's still pleasant to hear him singing his classics, because really, of all the Beatles, his voice sounds the same as it did 60 years ago. All the others have changed quite a bit. The train can represent the mole of Kintyre. Yes, it could. Except that would be a Beatles single, you know, a solo effort, I should say. A solo. That's it. Somebody get on the horn, call Acura Scale or Rapido UK, and somebody has to make a Beatles Class 68. Make me happy. To hell with the rest of the world, make me happy. Somebody make my favorite British locomotive with my favorite British band. And let's get it done. I expect one of you to do this. What did the derailed boxcar say to the derailed tankers? I don't know. The only train jokes I know that use the word train have nothing to do with locomotives. I have a 3D printer. Yeah, I have a 3D printer, and I'm good at making square boxes with it. We got to get ourselves back on track. Ba-dum-bum. Thank you, I'm here all week. Try the veal. Sorry, Mick. Where did the Beatles find the Seekers? On the ferry across the Mersey? Under the Rolling Stones. But it works better. If you think about it, Greg, it works better. Where did the Seekers find the Beatles? since they are the Seekers. Can't Unhear Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler is a very excellent guitarist indeed. The problem is every time people talk about great guitarists, they always limit it to rock and roll and people like Eddie Van Halen that are, you know, play very loud, or Jimi Hendrix. But I would dare anybody to go back to Roy Clark, the country guitarist, most famous to most Americans, as one of the co-hosts of Hee Haw. Roy Clark was one of the greatest guitarists that ever lived, period. And he probably, had he gone into rock and roll, could have outdone Eddie Van Halen, or Jimi Hendrix, or Eric Clapton. Because that man can twang on a guitar like nobody's business. And if you've ever watched him play, oh crap, what is the famous Spanish guitar masterpiece that anybody who's worth their salt in guitar tries to learn to play, because it's insane. Not Bolero. No, that's something else. Yeah. And I'm a rock and roll guy. But when I watch Roy Clark play guitar and he plays some of the Spanish folk songs and strums away, I'm like, Eddie Van Halen, meet your master. Yeah, and there were other people like, oh, Randy Rhoads would have put Eddie Van Halen. You know, that's the problem. Because a lot of times we judge them by the genre. I think Eric Clapton is a good blues guitarist, but I think Jeff Beck is a better guitarist. Eric Clapton is a good blues guitarist, but I don't think he's a virtuoso guitar player. He has a shtick and he plays it. Jeff Beck is a great guitarist. Jimmy Page is a great guitarist. Even George Harrison is a technically very good guitarist. But John Lennon was also a very good guitarist, and people don't give him credit. And I will say John Entwistle of The Who was the greatest rock and roll bass player of all time. But you guys would be surprised how many great songs where Paul McCartney was bass player. Paul McCartney really changed how bass players played bass, because he played it like a guitar and not like a bass. Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton, indeed. So today we're having that chat on music and songs and players, so. Well, I heard it. I've never heard of Narc K, so you got me on that one, Charlie. We're going to start listing everybody famous from Glasgow. I can only name you 3 famous Toledoans that you might have heard of, and even then, probably not. Jamie Farr from MASH, Klinger, the character Klinger from MASH. Danny Thomas, who you have to be of an age to remember him from his various 50s shows. And General Westmoreland, the guy that lost Vietnam, or gets blamed for losing Vietnam. I've been on this picture for a while. Let's go to something else. What are the names of the railroads around me? I have no clue. I don't know a darn thing about the railroads around me. Somebody had to tell me that we're basically a CXS line. I remember as a child watching Baltimore and Ohio locomotives go through, because this one house my dad rented on the north end of Toledo, northwest side of Toledo, had the lines going through, and we used to go back there. If we heard a train, we'd put pennies on the rails and get them mushed. And I won't tell you the stupidest thing I ever did either at the age of 7. But we would see Baltimore and Ohio, Burlington, Norfolk and Southern maybe. I don't know, various locomotives going through. But I have no idea. I assume it's a CSX because I see a lot of CSX stuff. But I didn't grow up with trains, Corey. I only got into trains about 8 years ago. And that's why I run, well, 10 years ago. But that's why I run all these European trains because I got into running, you know, I should put that in here. I'm going to add camera. There. I can put that there. It's big enough. People can see that. It's not in the way. Is anybody coming the other way? Nope. Okay. For Funky Blues, Johnny Winter. I like some Johnny Winter. Yes, Andy. We went to Abbey Road Studios and went to the studio where the Beatles recorded. And we did the crosswalk. In fact, I have pictures of me at the crosswalk. And what I did, and I never sat down to do it, is I had modeled it. And I knew exactly where to stand and how to stand. And I went out there and I stood with each of the strides of the 4 Beatles, exactly where to stand, because I was going to green screen myself and make my own version of Abbey Road. And that would have been awesome to put onto our Abbey Road medley video that we posted a couple of weeks ago. But I never put it together because Joyce took the pictures from an angle. So instead of going out in the street with me and taking my pictures straight on, she kept taking them from an angle, so it doesn't quite line up. I still think I could pull it off to a degree, but... Oh, Eno, the saxophonist. Wasn't that just Brian Eno, or was that a different name? Let's see. Let me see if I can find it on here real quick. Do it again. Bow, bow, bow. Documents. 2022 UK picks. All right, so give me a second here. And add image, create new, browse. So this was our first attempt, but yeah, that's me at the Abbey Road cross. And that's me doing George. No, George is coming last. That's me doing Paul. Or is it Ringo? Andy Mackey was the saxophonist. Yeah, that brings back a little bit of a bell. But yeah, that's me at the Abbey Road. But I kept trying, like, Joyce, you got to get in the middle of the street. But there were cars coming all the time. There were cars. That was a busy intersection, and they don't like all the Beatle fans there. You're going to listen to this, but you can't chat. All right, Corey, be safe. But you know, all these famous places, even famous places in America, are so far away. You know, I had this talk with my friend Jean Ricard, who can't be here today because he's working. He asked me how far we were from the coast, and I said, what, the East Coast, the Atlantic coast? He said, yeah, and I said, oh, we're about 10 hours from the coast. He's like, no, you should only be about 3-4 hours. It's like, no, the United States is a lot bigger than that. We are about 10 hours from the coast to drive. To fly, it would take a couple of hours, 2-3 hours. But yeah, we're about, 10 hours driving if you take a couple of breaks along the way. Oh yeah, I'm only an hour from Canada. Yeah, it is, Andy. And I've got like 10 pictures there. Because I was like, Joyce, you got to get it from this angle here. But she wouldn't go out in the middle of the street because she didn't want to be blocking traffic. Hey, Monsville! Welcome in, welcome in! You're only half an hour from England. But that is, I gotta say this. Yeah, you're never more than 75 miles from the coast. I am very jealous in many ways of the people who live in the UK as well as the people who live in Germany. I mean, not that we don't have a lot of great things here, but all the stuff I love is, my music is predominantly from the UK. And there's so many, and all the history things that I'm really into are in the UK or in mainland Europe mostly. So it's, I was a bit of a Civil War buff, and I've been to Gettysburg and a few other Civil War battlefields. And I have been to most of the famous American landmarks. True landmarks. I've been to Mount Rushmore and the rest, things like that. I've been to New York, been to Boston, I've seen the Liberty Bell, I've seen all that stuff in my life. You've never been to Scotland. You're 10 minutes from sanity. Leslie's 20 minutes from Scotland. Your cousins from Germany, they want to go to Florida and California and then the Grand Canyon. everybody comes here. I mean, that was one of the things with the exchange program where the students from Delmenhorst, Max Planck Gymnasium in Delmenhorst, you know, other schools in other cities, the kids are going to New York and Florida, and they're coming to boring old Toledo. But as we always told them, you're going to see more of a real America, you know, than all the flashy, touristy, shoppy places like New York and Florida. And obviously there's real to that too. But Toledo's just, there's nothing about Toledo except it's Toledo. And the World War II vehicle, the Jeep, was built here. Well, about 2/3 of them were. The other third were built in Pennsylvania. I came here for an argument. That's just a contradiction. Exactly. Yeah, everybody's got their bias. And I'm very loath to ever say somebody's the greatest because there's too many people that might have been better than anybody else out there. Like, so-and-so, the fastest man who ever lived. You don't know that. Because we never had everybody who's ever lived race. And there might be a guy faster than Usain Bolt at his greatest who never got a chance to go to an Olympic trial because he was born in the wrong neighborhood, in the wrong place, or blah, blah, blah. And nobody ever realized he was the fastest guy on the planet and give him. And there's a lot of cool stuff in Toledo. You live a 5-minute walk to John Lennon House, 5 minutes to the other Paul. So, yeah, Stephen, you're in Liverpool. And Joyce and I spent 5 days in Liverpool, and we lived on, was it Bold Street? We were in the heart of the artist district there. It was so cool. We walked out, and that area just had such a great vibe. We were a 5-minute walk to the 8-minute walk to the Cavern Club. The famous Eurochemist apothecary chemist shop was a 5-minute walk the other way. And see, the funny thing is, hey, there's Regio. I think we are there for a day. Not sure of the details, and my wife won't be happy. Where did you say you're going? I missed that. Costa Rica. Okay, that would make sense. Costa Rica. My son honeymooned partly in Costa Rica and then in Colombia. Liverpool's doing well, but not great. They had a tie I'm still mad about, and their loss I'm really pissed about. And it's not that a team can't lose, it's who they choose to lose to and who they... It's not like they lose to another great team. They lose to some second rate because they go out there with that attitude. Oh, we're Liverpool. We have all this talent, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to show up. Our talent to look. And then they get beat because they had no energy and no... And I thought Jurgen Klopp was bad about motivating his team to play the lower tiered teams. See, some coaches are good at motivating their teams. We're going to go out and kill these guys. These guys are not as talented as us, and we're going to show the world. And then when they meet equal talent, they'll play level. They might win, they might lose. Liverpool can play with the best of them, but they'll play some of the lower tiered relegation level teams and either escape with a 1-0 win or a 1-1 tie because they just get sloppy and lazy. Cruising from LA to Miami. Oh, I played rugby. And I like rugby, but I can't help it. I do like football, as the rest of the world calls it. Soccer, as Americans call it. I do love football, and I've been a Liverpool fan for 52, 53 years, since about the age of 7. When my Scottish librarian at my school knew I was a big Beatles fan. and asked me if I watched soccer. Yeah, it is. They play up, but Liverpool has to play up, because if Liverpool plays up to its potential, those teams that this is their cup final still can't hang with them. There's a reason one team has a 20 million pound payroll, and Liverpool has 180 million or 280 million pound payroll. Okay, there's a reason. So those guys are supposed to be better, and you have to know that. I coached basketball for years, and I'm proud to say the only time my teams lost, we lost to teams that were either higher in the standing than us or rated equal or better than us. We never got beat by an underdog. In my 8 years as a basketball head coach, I never lost to an underdog. I never got upset. My only losses were to the teams that won the league. 4 times in 8 years, I made it to the semifinals or the finals. Twice I made it to the finals of our league, and twice I made it to the semifinals. But we made the playoffs every year I coached, and we never lost to anybody below us in the standings. And we never lost a non-league game either. The only games I ever lost as a coach were to the same 3 teams in our league that were equal to us or better. And when I took over that team, it was a last place team. Oh, you weren't allowed to wear red. But, yeah, but, you know, some teams, yeah, anybody can upset anybody, you know, any given day. But Liverpool over the last few years, the reason Liverpool only has had one league win, one league title under Klopp, is not because they couldn't beat Man City, but because they had too many draws and too many losses to the bottom 6, 7, 8 teams in the table. They would have 4 or 5 major brain farts a year and either tie or lose to West Brom or somebody like that, and Man City didn't do that. But I could give a dissertation on the good and bad of Jurgen Klopp's coaching, because I watched it at Borussia Dortmund and at Mainz before that. All right, let's change cameras again. Where do we want to go? Let's go to the far out view for a while. We'll do that one. For those that scoffed, it took 6 days to cross the pond. Hey, Sir Andy T is here. Oh, that's good to hear. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Greg. I need to get a voice to top. Andrews Transport. Yeah. Okay. Gonna say, you just haven't posted a video. You gotta post a video, Andy T. Yeah, Germany's already having snow. Couple of places I thought in the UK already had a little bit of snow, but Denmark had some snow, according to Jean Ricard, I believe. parts of the United States have had their first snows. Several places in Canada have had their first snows. Oh wow, you're gonna take the whole thing, or by culling you're going to select certain ones. You're gonna go through the whole thing and select certain ones. I mean, I suppose. See, even the club I belonged to did not have a place where they ran trains. They got together once a month for lunch and chatted, and then they would discuss upcoming shows that they were going to take the club layout to. But they never all got together outside of shows to set the layout up, because you had to build a module. You had to build your own module to run trains at the exhibition. And I'll tell you what, those guys fought like cats and dogs over who was going to run trains. I've heard stories since then, as I've been on YouTube and talked to so many of you. But the first time I saw it was live, was these guys getting just real nasty and possessive. Well, hey, I won't even bring my staging yard if you're not going to let me run my train at this time at this place. You know, argue, well, you ran all your trains last time, and don't you touch my train. You know, guys moving people's trains to put theirs on, and somebody comes running from the other end of the layout and starts yelling about touching his trains. Yeah, I was like, yeah. I can't imagine what it would have been like if they had a club where they could do it, or maybe that would have made things easier, that they had a club hall where they had it like permanently set up that they could run their trains on. Coffee time. Never coffee time here. A railway club that, well, and that's just it, because they weren't officially a model railway train club. They were a part of the European ETE, the European Train Enthusiast Group. And it's, even though 95% of the people in their chapters across the country in Canada run model trains, it's not just about model trains. It's about people who just like European trains to travel on, what have you. Regional groups will get together and sponsor trips to Miniature Wonderland, and I know last year the ETE did Miniature Wonderland and the Märklin. But yep, I'm not. I realized I'm not a club guy. I wouldn't mind. Well, that's hard to say, because that was just one of the things that withdrew me from the club I was in. When they would get together and the talk and politics and all sorts of other stuff, racism and just all kinds of hate talk that I'm sorry, I don't want to sit around with a group of people that are going to talk about how they hate that group of people or that group of people or that group of people. I'm there to talk trains and have a laugh. That's why I'm in the club. And when the guys start talking their politics and stuff, I don't want to be there. He likes the truck transport. I had one other car that there's something wrong with one of the axles, and I didn't have any more couplers for it. And then the other one, I wanted to add to it just as a vehicle train. And maybe EFO can help me with this. I'm going to go to the solo cam for a second. Bear with me. I really like this. This is kind of a cool trailer, but the bogies, there's obviously a pin that somehow connects them, and no pin. In fact, no pin on either end. So if anybody knows what part that would need. Now this is a Fleischmann 5284. So if I could fix the bogies on these, I would have had this running. And, you know, just find replacement bogies. And hello, Lady Nancy and Sir Herb. You got your first snow of the year too. Yeah, because that's what you get. You or her? No, I think it was Herb. Texted me last week, or wrote to me last week and said you guys had your first snow. We have not had snow yet. We're not supposed to have snow this winter again. It's supposed to be rainy, though. Last year, we had no snow and no rain. We had a drought through the winter, and it pretty much carried in, except for one massive week of storms in Toledo while we were in Australia, and then no rain again until August, at the mid-late August, and then only another one. Hey, Sir Kieran is here. Yeah, the problem is, Randall, I've got ears that hear everything. It's probably from being a teacher all my years. My ears hear everything. I have a hard time tuning out. The only way I can tune out would be to put earbuds in my ear and listen to music, and that kind of defeats. And again, that's why I like this format. I like doing this. Let's get back to trains in the picture. Let's go to the multi-view for a while. My apologies to those of you on the phone, but I'm going to let all the cameras be seen now. Try a number 8 bolt, washer, and nut. All right. So I need to get a whole bunch of number 5s to do Mark's stuff, and then a number 8 with that. All right, we'll give it a try. Yeah, Raymond, I probably can. I actually, you know, obviously I have all kinds of collections of screws and nuts. What would be the right way to do it? Believe it or not, I've never fixed these. Like maybe I put a washer between the two, between the bogie and the base. Put a washer in there and then a nut and a screw. I could do that. And then I'd have to pull the bed out. How easy would that be to do? Oh, actually this actually was just a screw in. So obviously the screw went so far and then stopped so that the bogie could spin on it. So I will actually check my screws and see if I have something that'll work. In fact, why don't you all talk amongst yourselves? And I will go get a couple of my screw kits and see if I have something that small. Interesting, interesting. Let's do bridge view. I'll leave that one on. in the saddle again. I'm back. Hey, Mark from Model Railway Fantasia, how are you? Actually, he already did, Mark. He already did. And Sir Ben from Eagle Creek, wonderful to see you here. I do hope you're well. Okay. Nothing. Well, I don't know. That one's too long, but I could always snip it short. Ooh. My eyeballs are still pretty good. I thought that might be just a little too big, and it is just a little too big. But that's the smallest one, skinniest one in that kit. Oh, whoops. I grabbed all the washers, but not the one that's washers and screws. Ah, well, I'll do it later. Oh, that's great to hear, Ben. That's great to hear. Oh, did he finally find it? Ah! Hey, hey, hey. Come on. Oh, not what I was expecting.
National Railways card carrier issued by Trian, but you know, you can always rub that off and respray the whole thing. And
yeah, I suppose I could do that one, but on the flip side, unfortunately that's not how this one is built. You're all waiting for anticipation for the fix. Well, the problem is some of my screw kits are out in my garage and some are in my house. I always have my tools. I have a garage tool set and an in-the-house tool set. In-the-house tends to be the smaller. I don't even have a toolbox in the house. I just have shelves in there where I throw everything. It's a Caravelle. Yeah, I was just watching. I don't know if you guys would hear it because my setup has a noise cancellation for video coming off of the monitor. Spam. Spam, 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 spam calls. All is spam. Spammer calls. All is spam. Yeah, my ringtone, my basic ringtone is Ace of Spades by Motorhead. Was that Slipknot? That was Motorhead. If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, you lose some. It's all a game to me. I mean, every once in a blue moon, Joyce calls me by phone. Otherwise, 95% of my phone calls are spam. spam, 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 spam. Lovely spam, lovely spam. Wonderful spam, lovely spam. Haven't really looked much at the Railjet today. Yes, the very first episode of The Young Ones. No, I'm sorry. Season 2, Episode 1. The Bambi episode. Season 2, Series 2, Episode 1. The Bambi episode. Their first episode was... First episode was 9 Below Zero. 11 plus 11. More to do when I was 7. 11 plus 11. Had more to do when I was 7. Love the show. Loved 9 Below Zero. Trouble uploading shorts. I've had no problem with my shorts. Joyce gets them nice and clean, so no problems with my shorts at all. Speaking of shorts, oh, that's just weird, Ben. That's just weird. I'm sorry to be judgmental, but that is weird. My problem with shorts is that everybody is uploading shorts. I can't keep up with them. I miss 90% of them. I got a couple of channels I follow that, well, several channels I follow that put up sometimes 12, 15 shorts in a day. And it just, my shorts feed is all their shorts. Their video shorts. Your shorts come to your ankles. Now, 40 years ago, I could have made a starch joke about shorts. Anybody got a problem with their shorts? Yeah, my wife puts too much starch when she, you know, but not anymore. Unfortunately, I cannot find all my itty-bitty screws. They must be out in the garage. My super itty-bitty screws that I keep in here probably are too small. Yep. So, I must have taken my, what was I working on out in the garage last? Crap, what was my last project out in the garage? I don't remember. Well, I've got one short that I released it, I don't know how many months ago. It's about my Piko 111, my Piko BR 111. And when I put it up, it didn't get a lot of views. And then all of a sudden it started getting views. And now, 3 months later, it's getting 300 to 500 views a day. And it's now over, you know, it's now my most successful short. It's 6,500 views. Now I've got 3 different videos that are around 10,000 views, 8 to 10,000 views, which are my most successful videos. But that's back when I was trying to do more serious things on this channel. People don't like it if you're not serious, at least in terms of views. They expect professional photography and professional model layout, and my layout never changes. Half of what I put up is just silliness, and that turns off most people. Well, I'll tell you this, and some people either don't know it or don't want to admit it. Yes, YouTube now has 2, 3, 4-minute ads. But when you go in, when you monetize your channel, you can restrict to some degree how much can be skipped. Like it used to be, I could set, and I did. I set all my videos to skippable. In other words, after 5 seconds, you could skip it. But now, corporations are paying YouTube to not allow their commercials to be skipped. But still, where the videos occur, how many, and whether most of them can be skipped or not, is on the person posting. It's not YouTube, it's the producer. Now there might be some people who don't realize that, but that's the fact. You go into your settings. The thing is, the more you restrict how they can put commercials on your channel, the less money you make. So there are channels I love, but they don't allow any of the videos to be skipped because they get a higher gross of money that way. Eins, zwei, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, alle Keks. Why so serious? Hello, Ian! Sir Ian. I only watch YouTube. The only time I'm watching mainstream TV is Joyce and I, we got into the show Ghost, so we watch it. We watch Ghost. And then we watch sporting events where you can't control the commercials. Otherwise, I watch YouTube. So, yeah, I'm constantly skipping videos. Now, some people pay to have commercial-free YouTube. We actually have that on our phones. I don't get any commercials on my phone. No ads, nothing when I watch YouTube on my phone. Because our provider, our internet, our phone provider, Verizon, our package includes YouTube Premium for the Androids. So we get that for free, basically. So we have no ads when I watch your videos on the phone. Problem is, to type on the phone, you can't use shortcuts, and I hate typing on a phone, so I tend to be on my computer for live streams and that. But like, when I'm doing my live stream, my YouTube studio pops up every now and then, says, now would be a good time to put an ad in your show. Nope. Now would be a good time to put an ad in your show. Nope. I won't do it. You get as minimal commercials on my channel, but they would put them on anyhow because I have so many subscribers. I don't get a lot of viewers, but I got lots of subscribers. How do? Daz is here. Hello, Daz. Great series of shorts you put up this week. Because now YouTube Shorts can go up to 3 minutes. It used to be minute restricted. Now it's up to 3 minutes. But in all honesty, I hate shorts because A, everybody puts out a bunch of them. And so I miss so many anyhow. But also, the way people hate this view. You know, a lot of people hate it when I do this. Multi-view, it's like, I got this. That's how your shorts appear on my phone. You know, it's tiny. I want widescreen. I have a widescreen TV, a widescreen computer monitor, and a widescreen phone. I want widescreen video. You can do what you want. Seriously, but I have all these big screens. I like seeing your guys' trains and videos on the big screen. If you're working on something, it looks like you're sitting in my living room. I feel like somebody's come to visit me. If you're running your trains, I feel like you're running your trains in my house. And speaking of which, Ian put up a nice video running his Fowler car system today, his Wiesmann Fowler car system. I really need to get back to work on that. I really do. Yeah, mine's 75. My main TV in the living room is 75. But as Joyce has made it known many, many times over the years here, I often will have one video on my phone, one video on my computer, and one video on the TV. Somebody's live stream on the computer, somebody's video on my phone, and somebody else's video on the TV. I multitask. $1 million. Eyes like Marty Feldman. I do like that. I'm sorry, I do like my 449. I'm waiting, but I'm gonna have to wait until the next year. I'm gonna have to wait until the next year for my Twindexx Desero to arrive. I was so excited when they announced it, and now they keep delaying it. Now it won't be out until next year. Like January, February. All they're saying is Q1 2025. And then they announced the fall releases, and 2 of those have already been released. It's like, hey, before you do the fall releases, get the original releases out. Hello, Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Welcome in, CLL. Your 4 wives held you hostage in bed. Right, Attila, right. 4 wives held you in bed. Funny thing is, Monsville, I release my videos so that I usually release my videos so that they come out 6 a.m. Germany time. So that most of the people who watch my video will see them when they get up in the morning and check. And still nobody watches my videos. And I know that kind of sucks that I complain about nobody watching my video. But everybody says, wow, you've got 2,200, 2,300 subs. I was like, yeah, but my views are more like if I had 400 subs. But I don't, again, I know why. I don't put up content for the masses. Well, hello, Stormy Sky. I was just reading that message when you deleted it. Ah, that's where we're already at, Randall. Highs in the low 50s, lows in the low 40s, upper 30s. It's been rather chilly this week. But it should be. It's freaking mid-November. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, highs near 70, one way or the other. Hi, Steve. You'd have to be from Toledo, but that's a joke in Toledo. Hi, Steve. Yep, and you're up there in Wisconsin, Von Don Eisenbahn, so very, very, much more likely to see snow and cold. You received your notification, your 14-year anniversary. Does YouTube give you notifications for that? Because I've been on YouTube since 2000. Well, I was on YouTube, just on YouTube, but I didn't have a quote channel for a few years. But I started YouTube around, I don't know, when did YouTube start? I got on YouTube, I think, around 2005, 6, somewhere in there. I've been on YouTube for close to 20 years. And then I created a full ID on YouTube in 2009. So that would be 15 years I've been on. And then my channel started in 2018. The dream was good until the wife tried to drown you. There you go. Yeah, the one thing everybody has to learn about the YouTube algorithm is it's not accurate. All these algorithms never account for the dumb luck, random explosion aspect that anything can have. You can do everything that supposedly YouTube wants to do. Says, oh, this will increase your views. Do this. Worry about the thumbnails. Look at the time. Look at the age. Look at, set it up at the peak viewing hours. Do this, do that. And it will work for person A, and person B doing the exact same thing will stay low subscribers. There are things that do help. Consistent posting, and then being out and about and being seen within the community you're in, whether it's knitting or comic books or Legos or what have you. Sometimes having a gimmick works. But I'm not into all the gimmicks. I go to channels where the person has fun and comes across as a good human being. Those are the channels I'm subscribed to. People that I just look at them and go, they're a good human being outside the hobby. And then it's the passion for trains that draws me in. The positive passion, not the negative passion, where they're bashing all the companies and bashing all the models and bashing all the prices. Where it's just, they have fun. And there was a time when I got onto YouTube with my channel where it wasn't that I was trying to be somebody I wasn't, but I was trying to follow the algorithms. And yes, to a degree, the algorithms work. That's why when I had 300 and 400 to 500 subscribers, I was getting 1,000, 2,000 views on all my videos because I was putting up that kind of content that those people wanted, and they always came back and watched more. But I felt pressured to do that kind of content. And what I really wanted, what I really needed from YouTube, especially in the wake of my real life friends dying, as I was, if you want to cue the violins, I was looking for companionship. I was looking for friends. I was looking for people I could talk to. And So that was right after my first friend, Dean, passed away. My best friend Dean passed away. I started doing live streams around that time. And I got addicted to the live streams because people come in and talk. They talk to each other and they talk to me. And they respond to what I say. False nudity, yeah. I mean, you can put clickbait thumbnails and clickbait topics. I mean, I have seen some channels I like and admire, and to be honest, and I like Sam's Trains. I know some people don't. I love Sam's Trains. But a couple of times I noticed he did clickbait videos where the post is negative. How bad is this? You know, this new Hornby, blah, blah, blah. And then you watch the video and he's very positive about it. But the clickbait, because people will click on the negative first. If you have rant or why this sucks, that gets more people instead of saying why I love. It draws us in. 2 of my top 20 most watched videos are rant videos. And one of them's top 5, top 6. It was a rant video I posted a couple of years ago. Got me a lot of notoriety. It got me a lot of friends, but it got me a lot of hate mail. It got me a lot of hate mail. But it's how I got to know many of you, because you came to my channel from that video. Hey, there's Sir Luma. Hello, hello. Your daughter and her husband have millions of followers. Okay. Is that Artie's OBB Express? No. No, it isn't. Because Artie runs 2 rail. And I run 3 rail. And I have the receipts to prove I bought these. I even have video of me buying most of them. Atala, you gotta understand, when Artie starts talking about I have his trains, Artie's a little bit whoop, 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 whoop. And he has this imaginary world in which all my 3 rail trains were his 2 rail trains that I somehow stole from him. What's all that about giving a heart? I don't know. I turn off those reactions. They shouldn't be on your screen. They're not on my screen. I turn those reactions off. I mean, I like it. I mean, I'm sorry. I am human. I do like positive feedback, and occasionally negative feedback hurts. Bothers me. Some people are like, oh, it never bothers me. Good. Or maybe you just haven't been hit by that one negative comment that becomes like a bee, or in Andy's case, a wasp in your cap. Well, I don't think, well, it's not a medical hospital ward. But, yeah, it's, sold as seen, maybe broken, keeps moaning. No, I did not watch Sam's Trains today. Today was his live, wasn't it? I don't tend to watch his lives because there's just way too many people in there. And if I go to a live stream, I'm going to talk. I'm going to see my friends. The heart with the reply. Actually, anybody who gives a remotely positive comment or even just a nice video thanks, I give it a heart. So that when you check your notifications, it says Anthony Dodge loved your comment. I'm just that kind of guy. But I'm also, as I've talked about openly many times, I do suffer from manic depression. It's something that goes all the way back into childhood and all sorts of things that happened when I was a kid that make this part of life so much better. I've never had a comment that's made me want to quit YouTube, but I understand when people have, because they get hundreds more. If I'm lucky, I'll get 30 comments on a video. If I'm lucky, I'll get 30 comments and then I will reply 30 times. But most of my videos get about 10 to 20 comments at most and 200 to 300 views at most. But I do occasionally get some really nasty comments and some really nasty email. Now, some of it, I'm expecting it. Okay? I'm expecting it. Like when I sing in one of my videos, I expect nasty comments because I'm the first one to admit how bad my voice is. That's why when I've got another train coming, and I did it with that growl. If you think I'll sit around as the I just did that as a lark. Some people thought it was Rusty Twanger, but it wasn't. If anything, it was more the sheriff. It was Sheriff Dannon, Buck. It was his voice, but the accent removed. And a lot of people actually gave me positive response, like, "Wow, Anthony, that was actually a pretty good growl you did in that song." And I was like, "Oh." But when I did it, I thought it sounded pretty good. I was like, "That doesn't sound bad for me." And Joyce was like, "That actually sounds pretty good." So, okay, I published it. And I'm lucky. I don't get enough comments that I can't respond. I respond to every comment. Even negative ones I'll respond to, often with a verbal flip-off, and then I'll let it sit for a couple of days, figuring they've seen the reply, and then I'll delete it. I agree, John. If I go to a channel about trains, and that channel decides they want to talk religion and politics most of the time, I'm out. I come to YouTube to get away from that stuff. That's why I don't have a lot of model train friends on Facebook from the United States, because they see my views on some topics that are very deep to them, and they're like, no. That's why on YouTube I keep it free from that drama. The only drama is whatever has happened in Train World drama. But yeah, I mean, my channel changed mentally for the better, but statistically for the worse when I started live streaming, because I found out that's what I really wanted out of YouTube. I wanted to meet friends. I wasn't trying to impress people with trades. I want to share my joy. I want people to say, "Oh, check out these new cars I got. Check out this new locomotive I got," because I'm excited. And I want to share that excitement, because I'm just as excited when you get yours. Like Andy from March West Junction just did a video of this Class 90 that's painted in Deutsche Bahn red, and it's DB Schenk. It's Deutsche Bahn. And I mean, that thing would look brilliant pulling one of my rake of Deutsche Bahn passenger cars. It's a gorgeous logo, and his thing is, look what I got for less than 100 pounds. I love it when you guys put your videos up and say, here's my trains. Tim does a video where he's running all his warships, and I'm like, yeah! I put that up on my big screen TV, and I feel like I'm standing in Tim's room. The only thing missing is talking to Tim, like, oh, wow, Tim, I love your trains. These are cool. That's the only thing that's missing. But that's what I go to YouTube for, is to see what you guys are doing and to share what I'm doing. All right, Andy E, thank you. 81E, thank you for hanging out today. You got an early start tomorrow. And so, you know, that's what I respond to. So the people that are about the fun and showing you, hey, here's what I got. Here's what I did today. Like, I'll watch a video about somebody weathering, and I'm not into weathering my own stuff. But when somebody does it and does it well, like a Digger or a Tony Pinnell's or any of you other guys that weather, I'm not anti-weathering. I'm just not going to weather. For the price I pay on these locomotives, I'm not going to make them dirty. Well, I've been on this camera for a while, but I get yakking. And all right, so good night, John. Head home. Have a safe trip home. We'll see you later, either on Facebook or somebody's live stream somewhere. Yeah, exactly, Randall. It's avoiding the toxic part. In some ways, it's why I'm scared to meet a whole bunch of American YouTubers, because people talk about it, and I'd be like, shut up, shut up, shut up. That's why, like I told you before, Randall, Joyce, one of these days, maybe next summer, Joyce and I want to set up, like if you ever get like a couple of days off and you're not going somewhere, Joyce and I are like, well, we could drive for, and have a 3-4 day weekend, and we'd just like drive for a few hours and try to meet you halfway somewhere. Joyce has never been to Arkansas. She's been to Missouri. She got seasick in Missouri. We were near Chillicothe, Missouri, and I forget, was that Route 32 or Route 37, one of the little routes there, and it was all hills, up, down, up, down, up, down, and Joyce turned green. We were driving back from out west with the kids, and Joyce forgot to take her, Hey, good night, Kieran. Always a pleasure to see you. I hope you're well. I really miss seeing even the little stuff you'd put on YouTube. I miss seeing your trains. In fact, I forgot to buy, I was going to buy a J94, in honor of you when I was at Getz, and I didn't really get any train shopping in except for the 68 I found. Choo! Hey, CMD! Hello, hello, hello. There's another one. Oh my God. CMD does some rail fanning in Austria and stuff like that, but he gets some videos from his friend Bazi, who drives trains in South Africa. Wow, what cool videos. I love watching Bazi's videos, driving across South Africa, because I will never be in that part of the world. And it's just, sometimes it's just open miles of nothingness, and I just imagine, God, that guy riding the train. I'd be making videos and talking to people too. And I don't even understand what Bazi's saying, because he's speaking that Afrikaans Dutch most of the time. Bazi here. Indeed. There are some people, everything's a conspiracy theory. Whether it's model trains or the real world or YouTube and, everything's conspiracy. And it's like, guys, sometimes it's just life rolls and sometimes it doesn't roll the way you want it to roll. Catch that guy going through. Man, I love that 449. One of my favorite units. Oh, caught everybody here just in time. Indeed, Attila, that is very true. Indeed, Chris. I was actually glad when I stopped teaching English classes at all towards the end of my career, because I was so tired of trying to teach people how to verify statements and facts. Well, it said on Google, Wikipedia said, you do understand those are not necessarily substantiated claims. The great whites in South Africa make Australian ones look like babies. I don't care. They all look like monsters to me. And I'm not into killing them. Yes, they are. Yep, Chris, you're so right. People today, because I want it to be true, therefore it's fact. I need it to be true, therefore it's fact. But we start going in there. I really do like this angle, especially when it starts getting busy with the trains, because you catch everybody. It's kind of like the 11 lane view, but you're catching things more on the lateral. You guys should always know me. I say it now and then. You guys should always let me know what cameras you like the most. Speaking of cameras I like the most, where's Joyce? She's late again. Doesn't she understand she has a 5 o'clock appearance time? That's what her contract says. 5 o'clock. She's gotten to be a prima donna. She went to England, met all her fans, and now she's a prima donna, and she shows up late. Yeah, Joyce the alcohol drinker stopped off at a pub on the way home. Well, hello, Sir Andy of Dobson. Oh, Eric, when I would have students have to write papers in German, they would have to do things in German. And, you know, it was so easy to tell when they did Google. It was so... Now, Google Translate has gotten much better as they tweak it every hour, every day. But still, you know, somebody would type in a sentence, we lived in Colorado. Before coming to Toledo, we lived in Colorado. And if you don't know German, see, in German there's two verbs for live, to live. There's live as in to be alive. I live for this. And then there's live as in where you stayed. I lived in Toledo. I lived. And one is leben, to be alive, and the other one is wohnen, to reside somewhere. And Google Translate will usually translate to live as leben. So, ich lebe in Colorado, or ich lebte in Colorado. Well, technically that's true, but what you wanted to say is, ich habe in Colorado gewohnt. You wanted to use wohnen, or ich wohnte in Colorado. I lived in Colorado. Because what you're really saying is you resided there. That's what you're trying to say. So it's not technically bad grammar, but to a German, it is not correct. And that's true even between British English and American English, as we all know, Chris. There are many words that a Brit says that if an American TV show hears it, or an American audience hears it, in fact, was it the UK or Australia? There is a train, of course, actually it's a type of passenger car. And the term used is a derogatory term for a homosexual, but in the UK, it's a term for cigarettes, okay? We all know what that term is. I'm not going to use it because I could get a YouTube strike. But there's a train called the blanket train because all the passenger cars look like cigarette packs. And YouTube would flag any UK guy and demonetize their video or block their video because they use that derogatory hate term without understanding it is a term for a cigarette. And then somebody else could turn around and call somebody a dandy in a UK video, and UK's fine with that. Yep, that's it, Chris. Yeah, Luma, German is split in half. I have run into, most people are thrilled that I speak German when I get there. They're not, oh, your German's off. They will occasionally correct me if I use the wrong verb in a certain situation because sometimes there is a regional difference. But I have run into a few Germans that get very offended. My pride is that when I'm in Germany, I either get accused, I get asked, are you British? Or I will even get asked, what part of Germany am I from? And I love that when somebody listens to my German and doesn't think I automatically sound like an American speaking German. Because I used to do that with my students when I would start them. Okay, I'm going to teach you some German, then I'm going to teach you some Southern German. And they'll go, teach us Southern German? What's that? That's when you go, Guten Tag, y'all. Wie geht es Ihnen? Ich freue mich, dich zu sehen. No, that was in a store. It was in a store. And I was asking for a map of the town of Münster, and she brought me a map to the town of Münster. I was saying Münster, and she brought me Münster. And when I said 999 Münster, she said, what, was? Münster. M-E. And she went, well, I can't understand your horrible German, and walked away. I'm like, you do know I speak German, so I understood what you just said. Well, that was another thing I used to teach my students years ago, is that in America, if you were a kid in elementary school and said bloody hell, you would get in trouble for saying hell. A British kid would get in trouble for saying bloody. The hell was okay. The bloody was the bad part. Ah, bloody hell. And there's that too. Obviously regional. You know, for example, you get somebody from the mountains, the deep mountains of Switzerland who speaks Schweizerdeutsch, and then you throw them to a Rhenish person. They're both speaking German, but they won't understand each other at all. They both have to speak Hochdeutsch to each other to understand each other. They have to both go into what they were taught in school to talk to each other, because a Rhenish or a Plattdeutscher cannot understand a Schweizerdeutsch, and Schweizerdeutsch can't understand them. Of all the accents in German, Schweizerdeutsch is the hardest. Of all the accents in of the German language. And I'm not even talking Luxembourgish German or Romansch, which is kind of an odd language that is not technically Germanic, but it has a lot of Germanic elements to it. It's sort of a blend of Old Latin, Germanic, and a couple of other things, but it's called Romansch, and it's found in just a small region of Switzerland. But just standard, the Swiss dialect of German, spoken by the country folk, that's the hardest one for me to understand. I have people talk about they don't understand Tyrolean or Bavarian German. I have no problem understanding Bavarian German. Okay, I had relatives who were Bavarians. Maybe that helped. But Schweizerdeutsch is the one that drives me crazy. But the UK is funny because the UK, oh my God, the city of London alone has 23 official dialects. Even New York only has 5 official dialects and then some regional variations. New York well, if you count to 7 dialects. New York has 7 official dialects. I keep forgetting that one area is considered part of New York. High Church Coastal. Oh yeah, because there's always regional and then proper. You know, that's why in German we talk about Hochdeutsch. We always talk about Hochdeutsch, High German. That's what everybody's taught in school. That's what I would teach my students. But then I would also teach them some of the slang, Bavarian slang I knew, and some other slangs I had become familiar with. Understand when you say this, you know, because I would tell my students very often that when you use your textbook German, they'll understand you, but you won't understand them. And you just gotta, you know, that's why I would teach my students Hochdeutsch and just beg them to speak Hochdeutsch, you know. Just ask them to speak Hochdeutsch to you, and then you have a chance of understanding. What did Andy just share? When you swear, it's called you swear words. All right. Well, thank you for stopping in, spending some of your Friday afternoon and evening with us, Steve. Take care. Best wishes to all of you at Stormy Sky Productions. Always Rail Productions. Always great to see your rail fanning videos. I just wish I could have popped on your live stream, but I was out on the road when you guys went live a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Lord Owl's Darkest Day. Gotcha. That's the problem. Saturdays and Sundays are Joyce's days off, so we often are out and about. So everybody that streams Saturday morning and afternoon or goes live Saturday and Sunday morning and afternoon, And again, Charlie, I will say, it's easy to say, just ignore it. Get thicker skin. But some people don't have thick skin, for good or for bad. Some people can just ignore it. Other people can't. It's like being left-handed or right-handed. Some people are, some people aren't. How the wiring gets set up. You know, it's not that some people are too sensitive or more sensitive. Some people just, criticisms, negativities pile up on them. That's why I did my video that I called The Last Straw. Some people thought it was me. I was like, no, actually, while some criticisms do anger me, I can usually brush them off fairly quick. But there are things that do annoy me, that do bother me. Like, I posted a video of my grandson watching my trains going around and getting excited. And 10 people gave it a dislike. It's a little kid excited about trains. I think at the time he wasn't even 3, he was like 2.5. And he was sitting up here on the table watching my trains go around and going, I love your trains, Opa. And I'm like, that's a great video. And I posted it as a short. 90 likes, 10 dislikes. 10 people gave a 2-year-old kid a thumbs down. Why? What kind of, and that's where it gets me, because I start psychoanalyzing those people. What kind of a person sees a beautiful little boy happily excited about something and says, fuck you? Hey, there's Dirk. Hello, Sir Dirk from Chesty Trade. Speaking of some nice shorts today, and no, we're not talking about what you're wearing. We're talking about what you put on YouTube this week. Cool Piko ICE4. That was the one that was the true scale. Unlike Märklin, which did theirs to 193.5. But whether you have 1 million followers or 100 followers, you know, there are people that you've seen them. They get thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of subscribers, and they finally just get too many. Look how many Hollywood stars get bad reviews and off themselves, or rock and roll stars, their career goes down. The critics are hard on them, and they off themselves. Some people just don't. Some people can be thick-skinned about it, if you want to use that term, and other people, it bothers them, and there's no learning to not let it bother you. You can learn to control how much it bothers you, but if you are that type of personality where it can bother you, it will be there. And it's not even necessarily that criticism. It's your soul can handle 10 million criticisms, but 10 million and one, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. And that's where that saying from. It's usually something small that throws you off and pisses you off. It wasn't even that particular criticism was that terrible. It was all the other ones that have been quietly in the back of your brain, and then that one just pushed it over the edge. And everybody has their breaking point. No, I don't think Attila, Attila can look like a bear, but I don't think you could call him a bear. Unless he's changed his way of life. That's code, people. At least you're not talking sheepskin. But that's a different story. Yeah, postmen are tough. They really are. Blondie's favorite treat, a crunchy pig's ear. Alright, let's go to another camera again. Here comes that Austrian right at you. The Austrian inner city. No, I actually do not like wearing shorts, and I don't even have, well, I don't know. I have hairless legs. I have legs that make some women jealous. I grow absolutely no hair on my legs. According to doctor and my mom, it's a genetic thing that runs in her family. I had hair on my leg as a teenager, and then it just all fell out. My legs went bald. Top of my head, my legs went bald, then my top of my head went bald. Yeah, I don't like shorts. I leave them behind on beaches in Australia. Yep. In funny places, too. That came out not very good on your side. But yeah, my legs are smooth, and that's why I hate wearing shorts, because everybody, it's, you know, sometimes somebody's wearing shorts and they've got like gorilla legs like my dad had. Or you're like me, where my legs are just super smooth and not a speck of hair on them. No, Luma, I'm going to keep going just because I can sense your discomfiture from here. See, I'm the opposite. I couldn't live where it's hot. That's why I could never live in Australia. Too hot in the summer and most of the year. If I ever moved, it would be north. Somewhere where I'm guaranteed snow in the winter. You're too sexy for your legs song? Where is Joyce? She probably got caught in a oh wait, did I get a message? What message was that? Oh. Boy, the longer Joyce works, the longer she works. When she was younger, she'd come home she'd be done at 3:30, she'd be home 4:30, and then suddenly it was 5, and then it's 5:30. Yeah, I don't know. Big Island doesn't thrill me either. Oh my God, what's with all these? Yeah, the band Right Said Fred. I'm too sexy. Yeah, there's that, Greg. Joyce's mother had that. She took drugs for myasthenia gravis, and she had to be covered up in the sun. Oh, wow. Joyce is still at work. So... Nope, Joyce is a teacher, and that means you don't work the hours your job says you work. You work 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 additional hours. Yeah, I just got a letter about a reservation I forgot I had because I reserved something that Lippo wasn't carrying, and it's supposed to be coming in November, and they were just giving us a heads up. Oh, well, there's a, when we go back to talk about conspiracy theorists, there's a comedian that 20 years ago I thought was awesome, and now he's just a lunatic, Joe Rogan. He's got podcasts and everything, but he is huge conspiracy theorist knucklehead. I can't stand to listen to him anymore because he's all about this conspiracy and that conspiracy. It's like, no, dude. No, dude. Somebody had too much acid or too much something else and started thinking they saw things that weren't there. Well, we gotta be careful there now because we're going into politics, Chris. I mean, that's hysterical. I love it, but my thing is I will occasionally listen to some things because I want to know what the crazy people in the world are thinking. November is starting to bite. Well, of course, Area 51 is going to garner all sorts of conspiracy theories because it is the most heavily guarded and secretive base that the public knows of in the U.S. military. Oh no, it's more than sand, but that's not conspiracy theory. It is a major U.S. military testing site. There's a reason it's blacked out when you do Google Maps. There's a reason if you drive within 100 feet of any of the posted signs, you'll have a bunch of guys in black vans showing up and asking you what the hell are you doing and put the camera away. But it's that type of secrecy where a common sense person will say, obviously, there's things they don't want to be seen because they're trying to hide it from our enemies. Okay, so Oh, they must be working on space aliens and dinosaurs in there. No, they're just working on stuff they don't want. Oh, they must have all sorts of human experimentation going on there. Well, I can't. Now, when you say Liverpool, you mean Liverpool, Australia, right? Attila. You don't pick up strange girls in Liverpool. You have to go down to Manchester for that. Yeah, Chris, that's what it is. That's what happened to Thomas the Tank Engine and Francis the Talking Mule and Mr. Ed. You could just say you were not going to make it today. Yeah, you're here, and I'm hearing the gruffing and the growling and the... I haven't even looked in your eyes yet. I think I might be scared to.
Sure.
Yeah. Here.
Alright, folks, so hi everybody. I really apologize for being so late today, but I got swallowed in on a lot of shit. So I just had to take care of it.
Oh, is that what that smell is? No,
watch it. That one.
Ah!
Yeah. So, hi everybody first. So, hi Tom. Hi Andy. Wave. Hey Chesty. Hi there Mick. Hey there Valley.
Ah!
Hi
And then
Tom.
when I let go of the board.
There you go, Daisy voice. Hello, Luma. That's a Daisy voice. So, hi,
That
Ellen.
was not a good Daisy voice.
Was it a good daily voice?
That
I'm
did
sorry.
not sound like Daisy.
So, hi, Ben.
You'll have to hit
Hi,
your mnemonic.
Angela.
You'll have to hit your mnemonic
Hi,
phrase.
Andy.
This camera's going to drive me insane.
Hey, Dino.
As soon as I set it back, it kicks back. There, that's almost
Oh,
centered.
it's staying there, yeah. So, yeah, I have a formal observation on Tuesday. I had to copy all my worksheets. And then I got another one I had to take care of. And I had a very mean girl, Bible thumper,
Oh no.
caught her writing a note. Nasty. Gave her a thing sheet, and I emailed her mom, said exactly what that note said. It was mean.
Was it about another kid or you?
Well, she's going to punch someone in the face.
Ah.
So I should have let her pass it to whoever she's going to pass it to, but I took it right after she finished writing. I was standing right behind her while she did it. Oh. So, I'll do my... Gentlemen, ladies, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. So, hi, Ian. Oh, say, hey, Raymond. You're not dying anytime soon, you hope.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I hope not that. Oh. Oh, okay, Kyan's here.
Uh-oh.
You're singing,
Already?
Oma
just got here. All right. It's time to plug your ears,
Yeah,
viewers of our show. It's that time.
yeah, it's that time.
Whoops, wrong camera.
Yeah, wrong camera. Oh, God.
There we go.
So, yeah, I don't mean to...
Cayenne! Hey, oh Opa loves you.
Opa loves you.
Hey, Kyan. Hi, Lindy and Chris.
Hi, Lindy.
Love you guys too.
So Chris is still working.
Yeah.
Hi to Chris when he gets off. So,
look at the trains and tell me which one catches your eyes.
oh, I'm seeing your October stag.
The what?
Oh, that's very nice. Looking at your trains there. They all look
The
really
truck
good.
trailers.
Yeah, the truck trailers. That's really cool. Which is Zeg.
That's the last one. The rolling
Yeah,
road.
they look really good.
The rolling road.
Yeah, the rolling road.
Cayenne blew us kisses. Aw, what a little sweetheart.
Aw, that's sweet. So that's very sweet, Lenny. I'll see you on Sunday, Cayenne. I don't know if you like ravioli.
Dino
but it's
joined
dinner.
in. Cayenne!
Yeah, they do. Andy's a big Cayenne too.
I know. To me, it's Randall. It seems to me it's Fredo's driving. He's been driving a little rough and wild there. It is
We're
I,
looking
Fredo
at some
Bagino the Fourth.
Changes for Fredo's crew to see if we can get them in gear. Okay.
Yeah, he started the new level, the higher level.
Yeah.
Opa Bopa. Yeah, he doesn't do the Opa Bopa anymore. He
He
doesn't do the
doesn't.
alliteration.
Yeah, he doesn't do the Oma Moma either, which was very cute.
Although she just said he was doing the Oma Moma, Oma Moma, Oma Moma.
Yeah.
Mama mama mau mau, uma mau mau, mama mau mau, uma mau mau.
Oh. You made some enemies after the loss.
Yeah, he got some hate mail.
Oh, that sucks. Why?
You know what'd be
What the
funny?
hell?
You know what'd be funny is you should be able to make crew members, and one of them should be Four Finger Bill,
There you go.
because he got one of his fingers cut off changing a tire.
Yeah, right. So.
You know, Billy, I'm
Hey.
getting sick of you calling me
Hiya,
names,
Greg.
Billy.
How you doing? I hope everything's well with you and your wife, and your new baby, and your granddaughter, and your grandson. Oh,
That could kind of be funny, but I don't want to
What's
do
that?
it.
what's that?
Do an
What happened
Ebenezer Scrooge Christmas in Big Gulch one, but everybody does it, so I don't want to do one. But one of the
Yeah.
ghosts could be Bill.
There you go. That would be funny. Yeah. That would be very funny if you have a ghost.
I don't know why I'm here. They said I had to atone for my sins in this life, so now I have to visit all you guys that are sinning while still alive. Now get the damn Christmas spirit so I can go to my rest.
He's looking tired. Tired. Okay, I'm glad to hear Heather's doing better. I hope you're doing well too. So I'm glad Heather's better.
And yeah, it's two grandsons. You said granddaughter.
Oh, that's right. They're boys. And your daughter's great. That's good. I hope you're great.
You know, Bobby,
We don't want to lose you.
I'm getting tired of you insulting me.
I figure Bill's the spotter for Fredo.
There you go.
There you go. Ah.
Oh,
Okay.
for Pete's sake, can't we just rob and kill like we did in the good old days?
Yeah.
Everything's got to be plans within plans.
Yeah. We got a free train ride all weekend and a 24-hour service, Greg. Only issue is if the train breaks down, we're all stuck as the train staff are taking industrial action.
Oh, well, there you go, Artie.
Oh, okay.
Attila.
Attila.
I'm sorry, there's so much alike in name and personality. Attila and Artie.
Oh, indeed. They're very similar people.
Very similar people.
Very similar people. But they're all good people. We like Attila and we
Well,
like
for
Artie.
Australians.
Yeah. Struggle with side effects of the chemo drug, but coping and doing okay. Alrighty. Gotcha.
It's all a bunch of horse poop.
Well, we want you well. Oh, the train guys
I wore
are on
that shirt
strike.
the other day.
What's that?
It's all a bunch of horse poop.
Yeah, I probably need one and just wear it at school. These kids are naughty. It's a silent day on Monday. I'm tired.
Artie's the nutcase, I'm just crazy. Ah, I'm glad that differentiates.
There you go. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy.
Maybe you're crazy, just like me.
Yep. I can't do the voices and make them even sound remotely like the ones in the series. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Anthony could do it for you and send it to you. That's a lot. It's Fruit Loops. Yeah, he's supposed to wear pink today. Our therapy dog turned 3 today. Oh, what the fuss. What the fuss, what the fuss, what the fuss.
Okay.
Ay, ay, ay.
They both went to Berkeley, so that should explain that.
Oh.
Well, the problem is going to Berkeley in Australia is very different than going to Berkeley in America.
California, yeah. California,
In some ways.
Here I come. Okay, that was Christopher. What now? Yeah. And he's building a terrible cabinet too. I know.
Not on my channel, dear.
Gotcha. Yeah, no politics. No politics. I'm sorry. So, I'm singing Gnarls Barkley.
Even MIT's not MIT.
I told on this friend already, our Billy Thorpe and the Aztec song. Most people think that he's crazy. Aztec song. Most people think he's crazy. Don't know that one. Anyway,
Not ringing a bell for me.
I'm a very tired Daisy.
One very tired Daisy. Shocker.
Trying to
Shocker.
pass
You worked
through.
late almost every night this week.
Yeah. Well, I had my
And you had
I have a
family meeting on
root canal
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
You have your root canal Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Next week, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, because Monday I go to the dentist. Well, the cat
No,
goes
Monday we have to
first thing.
hustle the cat. I'll help you on Monday morning, and I got to scram.
Yeah, great.
So we need to start about 7:30. Ah, gotcha. Okay. It's a delicious cereal, full of sugar.
I like Fruit Loop cereal as a kid. Doesn't taste the same nowadays. They've changed the very few.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to let anything in.
Oh, you meadow muffin!
You got 20
God, I
minutes.
haven't done that voice since Series 1.
Yeah, really.
I had to find it for a second.
Your Cocoa Pops.
You prairie
Yeah.
pudding! You meadow muffin! Not anyone! Anyone! The killer! Well, we're all killers here, Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all killers here, Bobby. No! Anyone! You liked the Playboy magazine as a kid, but you grew up.
Huh. That seems a little backwards.
I'd say the Playboy magazine helped me grow up. Sometimes at inconvenient times.
Still die. You like the
Oh, so that's what
original?
those things look like when they're not hidden behind sweaters.
I'm hungry. Need to grab a snack, but I can't straight now.
Sorry.
It's alright. Anyway, what else you got on? You got a twisted rahi.
No, see, that was the weird thing. I used to steal my dad's Playboys and have a couple of them in my room, but he still thought I was gay when I was 17, 18 because I wasn't dating any girls. And then my brother, who was dating girls, was gay. I didn't have time to date girls. Good night, Eric. Thank you.
And then you found me. Night, Eric. forward to a video.
Good night, Eric. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Ciao, Billy.
Really? Anyway, you know the lab. He doesn't. She doesn't look like she's a very happy dog, to be honest. She's in her vest. She's calm.
Yeah.
The other morning, they came in and no vest, and that dog went under the table and was like,
Hi and thanks, Lee.
"Give me good pets. Give me good pets." So now that's a happy dog.
Well, the dog might be stressed out. The dog might need a dog.
So, well, she sleeps a lot. She sleeps under the office desk.
Oh, it's stressful, all those kids.
Yeah. Hey, Riley.
I just wonder if I can tuck in this.
Yeah, they are fun for sure. He and his son. Erica?
Eleniac.
Melania. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Not sure why it troubled you.
But,
Well, there you go, Angela. That's what you should do. Make a profit. Do selling.
I did people's homework for money. There's a lot of people that stayed eligible for sports
could
and
have,
graduated schools because of me.
You should have charged them, did you?
Yeah. In junior high, I charged a nickel a page. You want me to do your math homework? Nickel a page. Even the stains in it are neatly preserved, right, Luma? Good night, folks!
Oh, man. Yeah, you know, we had that very young assistant principal.
Yeah.
Apparently, he Googled Bo Derek the other day from the conversation. Didn't know who she was.
Okay.
Then we brought up Jack Kevorkian. Who? So, he shows his age.
Oh my God!
Definitely.
Yeah, we're just showing our age and expanded education, unlike some of these clowns.
Yep.
No, I'm running my 449 today. I love that. The double decker, the Desero Twindexx Vario.
Oh, yeah.
Not Desero, Twindexx Vario.
Oh, cool.
I love that one. That's the one that guy gave me all the crap for because I said I liked it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pieces of shit. Oh, mine isn't.
Yeah, because you heard me how many times that guy just would not stop arguing.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Some of you speak of bad experience. Who says it was a bad experience? Yeah, Attila, that means you wouldn't be making a fortune. There isn't a kid who doesn't have a smartphone. You don't believe me, just go into any classroom anywhere and do something controversial or say something controversial or say there's a fight in the hall. Those cameras are out faster than a pencil when you announce a surprise test.
Ooh, dirty magazines.
Oh, I know the clue. I'm just saying who said it was a bad experience. And we'll make some dirty societal judgments.
So what do you feel like for dinner?
Oh goodness, I don't know.
Cowabunga.
Uh-oh. You're gonna be hangry soon.
Yep.
Duck! Get all sharp objects away from Joyce.
Wow.
Well, should I just start listing things until you say sure? All right, let's start with generics. Pizza
Sure.
or burgers?
I like pizza over burger.
Pizza. All right, so now, do we want to do a thin crust Marco's to be different?
I think
Or
you
do you want to No,
I
I'm
think you
throwing.
want a
I
thin crust to be
suggest. I'm
different.
tired of Toledo. You haven't even been here, Andy. How can you be tired of Toledo?
Hungry of Toledo.
Well, we've got a large Hungarian population in Toledo.
I think you want in instead of. Well, we had Jets recently.
Okay, so Pizza Hut, Marco's, or somebody else's. Who else delivers?
So what our other answers are.
So what? Speak to me, woman. Speak to me.
So now I thought I read. I don't know. We could do a Marcos thin crust.
All right, we'll do Marco's thin crust. My daughter had us get her years ago. This is years ago now, because she doesn't do photography as much in her job now, but at times her jobs had her doing a lot of photography. Wow, we only got 20 people in right now.
That's not crazy. Yeah, a few of them left. I feel we're starting to wrap it up.
Yeah, we had that big string of all
Hi,
those.
Trail Fan 1980.
You know.
I don't know what you had. I did have you on, though. You talking to me on my back, you dirty dog.
Was I?
Yep.
Which way were you facing?
Always. I was running around.
Hello,
Yep.
Train Fan 1980. We are just
We sure
preparing
did.
to shut her all down here.
Yeah.
Because it is almost
Yeah.
6
I'll
o'clock.
have a snack. I won't get here fast enough. Someone liked your comment.
Well, I try to be a likable person.
Yeah, I think yeah.
It doesn't always work, but not everybody can be made to feel agreeable. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah,
So-
that's fine. Come back here, we can do it again.
Who, what, where?
Attila wants to try the cabbage rolls
Oh,
at
yeah.
Pacos. I said, yeah,
Yep.
it's good.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about it. Yeah, I'm gonna move the mic up here just this way a bit. It should still pick up your
Fine.
voice.
Should.
It should. Use your teacher voice. Project.
Okay. Teacher voice is smart.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about it. We've booked where we're staying and our flight for our trip to Germany.
Yep.
So that is all set up
Anthony's been very busy this week.
now. Hemming and hawing, trying to decide best place.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I've been forgetting that I had one reservation. You know, I was talking about how all the trains I reserved were delayed. Well, that was the ones I reserved on Lipa. There's one at Renaud's I reserved, and that's due out in November, and apparently it's still due out in November. It hasn't been delayed.
Gotcha.
So apparently there's Christmas and birthday.
Here you go.
But yeah, so
You gave us stuff.
I also started looking up model train shops. The only and again, we ride trains to get to places, but we don't go to Germany to rail fan. We will spend a few minutes in bigger train stations, looking at all the different trains, kind of rail fanning. But the only little train ride we're going to do is, I forget the name of it, but we're going to take the one train ride that runs along. It goes from Rostock up to Warnemünde over to Bad Dobran, and then up along the Baltic coast there, and you go up and come back. We're going to do that steam train excursion. That's the only model or train related thing, other than I've been looking up model train shops in each of the cities. Or at least ones that specialize, that do have
Oh.
Märklin.
Live ran fan. Look in Joyce's eyes. You're going to die.
How am I going to die?
Wow, it's not that bad, I don't think. I don't look happy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just overwhelmed and tired.
She had a rough day, a rough week at work because it wasn't just
Again,
at work.
Yeah.
It was you had
Yeah. Next week
you
it'll
were
be
going
better.
in early. You were going in early and coming home late. You had in services and other
Yeah.
things you had to do. You've had a rough week.
Yep.
And then even today, she was what? You didn't get out of school until after 5:30.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So order pizza and you take a nap.
It's good. Yeah.
So anyhow, on that note, the few of you that are left here,
Right.
apparently you're the ones who got stuck with the bills.
Right. Nobody else has bailed.
It's great to have you all spend part of your Fridays with us, or Saturdays in some of your cases. No, I'm going to steal Mom and Tammy's phrase. We appreciate you all. Love you all, guys. We think you're awesome. Thanks for making our stream something that we want to do every Friday.
Right.
Lovely to see you all.
Yeah, Anthony enjoys it.
At least see your names in some cases. But in many of your cases, we now have had physical presences to go with that. So on that note, we're going to say, Auf Wiedersehen!
Tschüss.
And happy trains.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. Who put that mic there? It's in the way.